If you click this video, you probably know what I'm going to be talking about, and this is not going to be a generic YouTuber burnout video. If you click this, you probably have something to relate to about this. Let me just keep this real, alright? There's an uncomfortable truth that we all experience with burnout. Not just creators, right? A lot of YouTubers will just say that, but with actual being a human being. It's the burnout we all feel. I'm Kind. Welcome back to another episode as usual. And I'm sorry for not posting, but there's been reasons. And just want to go over the signs that I think we do ignore. Is just burnout is not being just tired. It's more insidious than that. I just kept on, pushing through. Even though I saw the warning signs that we all do, I just kept on going. And the reason why I stopped uploading for a bit is that I was like, hey, my life is a little boring. And so I really wanted to get a new job. And so I got a new job. I started doing things differently how I usually would. And so I was like, okay, let me start to do all the stuff that I promised myself I'll do all the time. And it just didn't work out as I thought, as a lot of things in life don't. I kept pushing through, like I said, and there was a warning signs everywhere. The gradual fade of the excitement into a more or less like an obligation. When making, these videos to make you happy, just to talk about things that are serious, it's a choice. But then I felt like for a little bit, like a chore. Like, okay, I don't really want to make a video with all this extraordinarily edited and stuff. I just want to have some music and some text, and so I'm gonna probably stick by that for a bit. It's just we all do that kind of stuff where we have all these ideas, ambitions, and stuff, and we do it and we do it and we keep on going, and then after a while, instead of I'm doing this for me, I'm just gonna have some fun with this. We all do that. We have some fun, but then now it feels like you have to do it. You have to do all this stuff. You don't. You don't. I'm not trying to say that you do. For myself, that's why I just didn't upload. I just knew that that's not what I want to do all the time. It's just upload a sad video about feeling burnout and stuff. And I really hope if someone's watching this, I want you to relate to things I say. Not really to everything, but try to relate. We're human. We all have those things, and I really want to know about things about you. So anything in this video that catches your eye or things I say, please leave a comment. I love to read them, and I will try to respond, but I am really bad at responding to people. We can't just keep on doing the same thing over and over, expecting to stay satisfied all the time. And that's what I thought about this. I thought every episode or everything I release, everything I talk about, everything I do, it's going to be perfect. Good enough. I will say a 90% certainty this is going to be a good video. And it's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to satisfy everything. Even myself in my real life, I am not able to satisfy everything. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting anything else. And it's like how I fell into these patterns without even realizing it. A lot of stuff, we go in that repetition trap, I would call it, let's just say. How we just fall in these patterns without even realizing it, and we just do it. And then after what happened with me, a month or so, it just hurts. You're just like, okay, it's not going well for me. It's that you get the false comfort of a routine versus, actual fulfillment. I didn't feel good. I got a new job recently and I quit it really quickly. Not because of, there's a lot of reasons to go into it. One, I'll just say health-wise and how things were run, didn't like it, but that fulfillment that I thought was I'm going to be able to go a little higher, got more pay, got all these things that you would want as a job. I left it so quickly because it didn't feel nice. Everything there was not what I wanted, and you're not going to get everything you want with a job. That's beside the point, is that I didn't feel wow, this is not what I want to do anymore. I don't want to do this kind of stuff. I really don't. And so I just left it. As bad as that is, I just couldn't do it. It's just when you're content, feels like you're more or less doing things through the motions. You're just going through it instead of actually being wanting to do stuff. It just feels like that. And it's that pressure to maintain what worked before instead of just trying to evolve. And I did try to evolve. I did try to do new things, but it just didn't work out. And that's what sucked. So a lot of things I realized in my life that's not going really well. And health-wise, I'm not doing really well either. Cut to the chase, I'm starting to now have a huge diet change. I'm doing through exercises every Monday through Friday. 30 minutes if I can to an hour. It's hard. I'm doing calisthenics because I just need to get my body into shape because it's not doing too well, and I'm just trying to get better. And that's more or less just myself. Why I made this episode. It's like it's burnout. I felt like I was just laying in my bed, playing the same games all the time, not doing anything, not talking to anyone. And so recently I started to live stream. And if you haven't seen, I'm on TikTok, I just do it randomly. Everything besides that is just, I had to change because my burnout was killing me of months of doing nothing important or really meaningful to me. And I made this episode called What Burnout Really Feels Like. And let's get to that point. It's just physical symptoms you really don't talk about. Burnout, what people think, is just being tired. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I'm lazy. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of people talk about that. It's sleeping issues. It's constantly feeling fatigue. It's a lot of other things. And that's what I went through. I just didn't want to get out of bed. Didn't want to do anything. I just did the same thing because that's all I do. And it's that mental fog that makes you, even the simplest decisions feel just impossible to think about. You just can't do it. It's like, oh, all I gotta do is take up my garbage today. And that's all. And you don't even feel like doing that. You don't even feel like doing anything. It just feels like, okay, I have to get up. Like, I actually change out my room. I'm gonna see how dirty the stuff is. I'm gonna do my laundry, but I don't want to actually. It's just that feeling. I don't even know. It's just like, you can't do it. And I recently, just for a little bit, got into a relationship. And it wasn't dated. It was more or less a meet someone. She was really nice. It's just, I know myself. I know if I was in that for too long, it would suffer and it will run me and them empty. So before anything started, we did talk. We're adults, so we can really get this out. We still chat once in a while. It's just like, hey, this won't work. Only because we know with each other's times and stuff. I'm a night owl. She's a morning person. It wouldn't work. And it's that cycle you don't want to get into. It's the weird grief and stuff. And it's feeling just disconnected from things that used to excite you. Like, I miss doing stuff. I miss making music. I stopped making music for a bit. I stopped writing. I stopped doing things that made me creative. And I probably have to get back to that stuff. But it's taken away from my actual time. And I work a lot, so I'm not really getting to that stuff much anymore. And another thing about burnout, what it feels like, it's the creeping feeling that nothing you do will matter anymore or anyways. And I don't want to go through that where everything you do becomes a burden to yourself and like, this won't matter. Why do I do this? Why do I even try? This won't matter. I'm not trying to spiral into the whole depression era that I went through when I was younger. So I'm just thinking about stuff, and more or less I want to give you guys advice. Why most burnout advice to me, though, it's useless. Let's just get into that part. We all hear it every single time when you talk about burnout, how you can't do this. And people will tell you, just take a break. That isn't enough. You've been trying to take breaks from everything you do. Burnout is taking a long break that makes you feel horrible. And at a surface level, like most surface level care doesn't really fix the deeper issues. You can be like sad about your job, but just because you put makeup on doesn't make it better. You can have little things, but it's not gonna fix it. And a lot of us that we do a lot now with this culture is just quote unquote hustle through it. Just get through it. It doesn't work. I've watched people break down because they had to keep on getting through it. And I know that I can't do that. That's why I have 2 days off of work or 3 randomly. I know I can't do that because if I just hustle through it, I don't know. I can't do that kind of stuff. And burnout to me just felt like a really, and this is the point. People miss the point a lot about the things that what they're talking about. They miss what actually is affecting you. Advice just doesn't hit down to what it is. It's usually a personal issue that you'll never be able to just explain perfectly. Besides going with someone and doing things with people, you don't know. You never know. And the really uncomfortable truth about this is sometimes you just have to rethink your decision. Everything. And I don't like to rethink everything I just did, but that is sometimes the thing you have to do is completely rethink everything. It takes time, but you have to do it. And that's the thing I didn't really like to do. Another thing I want to talk about is the actual reality check that I needed. I needed this really hard. Sometimes it's not working harder or smarter. It's about questioning why you're doing this stuff. A good example for myself is I work in the kitchen when it comes to getting a lot of orders down. And there's, I would say, more or less, you have rules. You have to do things a certain way. And the ways I like to do things, it's quicker, it's faster. Is that I questioned everything. I questioned everything that I did. And it's hard to question yourself. And I did a lot of things and thought about stuff and why I did it. It's just to make things faster, make things easier, get things done quickly, send it out quickly. That's all I care about, is getting it out quickly and done correctly. Realizing that my identity had more to be wrapped around with my content. I had more about me besides my work, besides ethic likewise. I realized I needed like myself. I'm not just a person that's going to cook all the time. I need to be content with something else, something that entertains me. And that freedom that comes with admitting that it's just, you're not okay. You gotta admit that you're not okay. And it started to help me versus, what it made me try to mask my quote unquote called symptoms, more things that I know were not helping me. And moving forward with all my stuff is that I'm not cured. This is not some ongoing process. Like, I'm not going to be done with figuring my life out. No one will ever be done figuring that stuff out. I can't pronounce this word. Specific changes that I'm making to avoid falling back into the same patterns. It's just like I'm trying to do this stuff. I know moving forward, I have to do that kind of things. And how I'm approaching content content creation, I would say differently now, is I'm just trying to figure out things quicker, trying to know and catch myself before I fall into this thing that I just did recently. I'm dieting, I'm working out, I'm doing anything I can to help my body and myself. And you always gotta set boundaries to actually protect your well-being. I'm not gonna go work out 8 hours a day and quit my job. I'm not gonna go there every single day and bust my butt off to be in pain to go to work. I'm gonna do it a minimum to know that I'm healthier, I'm feeling better, and that's all that matters to me. And finding a meaning beyond the metrics and validation. I need to be happy for myself, not for anyone else, but for me. To wrap this all up, let me just go over. Burnout isn't about quitting. You don't just quit. What you need to do, it's about creating sustainability. That's the whole point of burnout. You have to go through it to realize you kind of just become stable again. It's all it is. And you got to give yourself permission to evolve and to change into the better directions of yourself. And please, I want to just talk to you as a viewer, inviting you guys to my Discord server if you really want to talk to me, or my Instagram DMs, anywhere, that I want you guys to share your experiences about, burnout. And I will say that I will probably end this now, and I promise I will be back. I will be uploading, let's say, every few couple of days to a week at most, because I still have a lot of things going on in my life right now. I got work today, and that's why I'm kind of like wrapping this up quickly. And I'm really thankful if you watch all the way through, and I really hope you have a great day, and toodaloo.